Hey YouTube, Twig here, bringing you guys an update to my Morphtronic deck profile for August 2017. This is one of my all-time favorite synchro decks, and a lot of you actually asked for an update to this deck profile. It's really cool because the synchro spam, which you would build up to get out shooting Quasar Dragon, can also be manipulated to your link summon monsters to get out a lot of your link monsters, just with how fast the Morphtronics can get out on the field, thanks to cards like Self-On and whatnot. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right into the deck profile. To start off, I run 3 Morphtronic Self-On, probably the most important card of your deck. With this card, while it's in attack mode, you once per turn can roll a dice, and then whatever the number was on the dice, you excavate the top cards of your deck, and then you can choose one level 4 or lower Morphtronic from among them, and special summon it, ignoring the summoning conditions, shuffle the rest into the deck. And all Morphtronic monsters have different effects based on what battle position they're in, so whether it's an attack or defense mode, the defense effect of Self-On is basically the same die roll, but it just allows you to check the top cards. So basically you can see if you have Morphtronics coming up to use for Self-On special, but most of the time I just keep them in attack mode to get off that effect. And if I get another Self-On off of the Self-On, I can just use it again and again, and have those 3, sometimes I get pretty lucky, and have those all out on the field ready to use their effect. And it's always fun to do the dice roll just to see, because you never know what you're going to get with the excavation. And I also play 3 Morphtronic Boomboxin, a really good card to grab off of the Self-On. Its attack position effect is it can attack twice while it's in attack mode, and while in defense, once per turn, when a face-up Morphtronic is selected as an attack target, you can negate the attack. So a good way to create that shield too, to protect weak monsters like your Self-On, for example. And also 2 Morphtronic Radion. This card, while it's in attack mode, all your Morphtronics gain 800 attack, and in defense, they gain 1,000 defense. So, let alone Radion by himself is 1,800 attack points, putting Boomboxin up to 2,000, and Self-On the 900. You can really save you in those situations, and if you get 2 of them on the field, you can actually stack the attack and hit really, really big numbers with just your Morphtronics alone before you even go for anything in your extra deck. And 2 Morphtronic Slingin. This is your pop power in the deck. While in attack mode, once per turn you can tribute 1 Morphtronic monster except for Slingin to destroy 1 card on the field. And in defense, if this card will be destroyed, you can destroy another Morphtronic monster you control instead. So more of a protection effect, but I love him for the attack position effect for the pop power that this guy has, to get rid of really pesky monsters that otherwise you can't get over. And for the last of the non-tuners, I run 1 Morphtronic Vacuumin. This card is basically a steal of a monster, allowing you to equip it to this card. It's really, really cool if you can special summon this off the Self-On, get rid of one of your opponent's pesky monsters by equipping it onto the Vacuumin, and just having that problem taken care of very easily. And for the tuners in the deck, I run 3 Morphtronic Smartphone. This card cannot be normal summoned. It must first be special summoned from your hand by banishing 1 Morphtronic monster from your graveyard. So you save the normal summon for the Self-On, and then the special summon of the Smartphone is very easily. While in attack mode, once per turn, roll 6-sided dice, and then excavate that many cards from the top of your deck, and add 1 Morphtronic card from among them to your hand, and shuffle the rest back into your deck. Now, it says Morphtronic card, so you don't have to add a monster. There are other cards in this deck that you run that have Morphtronic in them, so revealing them will be beneficial as well with Smartphone. And in defense, once per turn, you can roll a 6-sided die. Look at that many cards at the top of your deck, place them on top of the deck or bottom of the deck in any order. So basically the same effect as Self-On in his defense mode. But like I said, plenty of cards you can grab off of this guy to make use of, which we'll get to in a bit. Also, 2 Morphtronic Lantron, just another good additional level 1 tuner to grab off of the Self-On. And also 1 Morphtronic Scopin. This card, when in attack mode, once per turn you can special summon 1 level 4 or lower Morphtronic from your hand, destroy it during the end phase. Just a good field spam with this card. And while in defense, this card is a level 4, so you can either go for Synchro Summon of an 8, or you can have him in attack mode for the 7, or you're just there for that field swarm for some link monsters as well. It's really helpful. And lastly, the only Morphtronics I am running in the deck are 2 Gofu, the Vague Shadow. Just this card really helps because it's a 1-card Decode Talker, and having Decode Talker on the field with its arrows where they point can really get your Synchro Summons set up for your plays, having those 2 extra monster zones there. Like I said, this deck isn't as fast as it used to be with the Synchro Spam because of the new format rules, but this card just helps so much with the Link Summon play that you can go off of, getting the Link Spiders out, then using that and the 2 Link Spiders to summon into the Decode Talker. And that is it for the monsters in the deck. We will now move on to spells. I run 3 Morphtronic Accelerator. You return 1 Morphtronic card from your hand to the deck, destroy 1 card on the field, and draw 1 card. So you don't really minus yourself off of the put 1, and you pop one of your opponent's cards with this card, which is also really good. And you only have to return 1 Morphtronic card. It doesn't say monsters, so anything that has Morphtronic in it, you can return from your hand back to the deck to grab that pop and draw. So it's also recycling along with that destruction power, which is really, really great. And it's also basically searchable off of the smartphone since it does have a Morphtronic in the name. And the same is for Morphtronic Repair Unit, which I run 3 of. It isn't an equip spell, but it's basically like a premature burial for Morphtronics. You send 1 Morphtronic from your hand to the graveyard to select 1 Morphtronic in your graveyard, special summon the selected monster, and equip it with this card. The equipped monster cannot change its battle position, and when this card is removed from the field, destroy the equipped monster. Now, you can also special summon the one you send with this card. You just have to be sure that you have another Morphtronic already in the graveyard to do this effect, and you can't change the battle position, but just know what position you're going to want that monster to be in when it comes out on the field so you can make use of that effect. Also, 2 Junk Box. This card, you select and special summon 1 level 4 or lower Morphtronic in your graveyard, destroy it during the end phase. Now what I love about this is that it does say destroy it during the end phase, but it doesn't say, its effect is negated. So you can grab cards like on the cover, which is Selphon, and still use its effects. So you can grab those special summons off the Selphon before he would be destroyed. And also, 2 Morphtronic Map. This is the field spell for Morphtronics. Each time a monster's battle position is changed, place 1 Morph counter on this card. All Morphtronic monsters gain 300 attack for each Morph counter on this card, and when this card is destroyed and sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Morphtronic monster from your graveyard. So the recycling is really good, and the attack stack is also very helpful, because it doesn't just specify the Morphtronic monsters for the change, it also specifies any battle change, so just keep stacking on those counters, and also get that special summon if this is destroyed. And the 1 Terraforming, just to search and grab out the map as well. And also 2 Machine Duplication. Now this card with Selphon, gets you the 3 Selphons on the field and ready to use their effects. If you use 2, grab those 2, you can then use those 2 Selphons to get out a Link Summon or a Synchro Summon, depending on what you grab, and then you can use the additional last Selphon once the spaces are opened up. Because if you successfully get 2 of the Selphons out, you'll have all 5 of your monster zones already filled up, so you have to take care of those before you can use another one. And 2 Desynchros. Now this card's great with the Formula Synchron just because you can make Formula Synchron really easy with this deck, but basically use it so you can go into Formula Synchron, grab your draw, use Desynchro back into Smartphone and Selphon. You can then reuse their effects after they hit the field once again, which is pretty awesome, and then after that, go back into Formula Synchron and grab your draw again. Just great sifting and drawing power there. Plus 1 Foolish Burial. This is good for the cost for the smartphone and sometimes just off the junk box play, grab what you need. Also 1 Soul Charge. This card, is your #1 key play to getting out the Quasar. If you sometimes can't get all the synchros out in one turn, you can use this to basically grab the synchros that you have gone into and use them for that play. Also 1 for 1. Great card to grab your Selphon when you need it. Reasoning. We have plenty of different level monsters in this deck to make use of, so Reasoning always comes off good. We have 1, 3, 4, and 5 to make use of. Much variety there. And also 2 Twin Twisters to finish off the main deck. The big problem sometimes can be back row, which do screw up your special summoning plays, and discarding to the graveyard with this deck isn't really too big of a problem with many graveyard effects being able to put to use. And also sometimes just those banish costs that you need to get off for Smartphone. And that is it for the main deck. We will now move on to the extra. I run 2 Formula Synchron. This card is, like I said, your draw power in the deck and necessary for your shooting Quasar plays if you can get them off. Like I said, it is more difficult to get the play off. We're more of a spam and push kind of deck now. Make use of your Link Summons, and it can be possible. It's just, like I said, a little more difficult to do now. And also, with the deck, you 1 Samsara and 1 Hyper Librarian, just for those additional cards. These are basically the necessary requirements for the Quasar here, so those will be your go-to cards to synchro into. Also, 1 Shooting Star Dragon, just for off of the Shooting Quasar. 1 Stardust Dragon, if you can't do the Quasar play and your Decode Talker points to 2 open zones, make Stardust Dragon and Formula Synchron and go for your Shooting Star, the next best play there. And most likely the easiest, since most of the time with Decode Talker you're only going to have 2 zones pointed to. 1 Black Rose Dragon with the Scope in play, get your level 7, blow up the field, nuke problems that your opponent lays out for you. The main card we talked about, Shooting Quasar Dragon. If you can be successful with this deck, like I said, it's a new format, new change, but I still love the deck, and you can get off all the power to you. You played your heart out with your moves there. And finishing up the level 3s, 1 Tatsunoko, it's a tuner, so really cool there, and 1 Underworld Fighter Balmung for the level 4 synchros. And as for the Link monsters, I'm running 1 Mrs. Radiant. Now, you might want to bump this up to 2 if you don't have the Firewall Dragon to play, just because there are plenty of Earth monsters to go for in this card, and the recycle effect is awesome as well if it's destroyed. Also, the power boost for the Earth monsters can't go wrong there. Most of the Morphtronics in this deck are Earth. And also the 1 Decode Talker and the 2 Link Spiders. These are for the Gofu play, for the instant Decode Talker with the tokens and the Gofu, and 1 Firewall Dragon to finish up the extra deck. But yeah, that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Once again, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and until next time, Kira Twig out.